Riots erupted in the streets of Morgantown following WVU's victory over Texas. I'm Stephanie Aiken. Straight ahead, I'll tell you how university officials are planning to take action against reckless student behavior.
I'm Lindsay Cobb, and coming up this week on WVU News, I'll tell you if the water in our area is hazardous to your health.
Are you tired of PRT problems? I'm Sarah Cordonier, and I'll tell you how the university is getting transportation back on track. Our award-winning WVU News starts now.
The rowdy WVU students have been identified. Battery, assault, and disorderly conduct are just some of the charges being brought against 4 WVU students. Find out what the university is going to do next. I'm Angelica Trinone.
And I'm Lindsay Cobb. WVU has taken their stance on wild student behavior, but what about the city of Morgantown? We'll tell you what the city is planning to do on this week's edition of WVU News, an award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students at West Virginia University.
WVU students have been celebrating by burning couches for decades, but in recent years, things have started to get out of hand.
That's right, Angelica. Celebrations have turned into riots. WVU News reporter Stephanie Aiken joins us now in the studio. She found out what WVU President James Clements has to say about the issue. Stephanie?
Thanks, Lindsay and Angelica. The student culture at WVU is no stranger to celebrating the victories of their sports teams. Media attention following WVU's win against Texas shifted from the football team to the out-of-control student behavior. I spoke with university officials who say it will not be tolerated anymore.
Dozens of fires erupted in the streets of Morgantown as students celebrated WVU's victory over Texas. But University President Jim Clements says student behavior is nothing to be celebrated.
The worst of the post-game behavior Saturday night was unacceptable, dangerous, and inexcusable. We cannot and we will not tolerate it.
A poll conducted by the Dominion Post reported only 10% of students were embarrassed by their peers' actions.
Everyone just wants to jump around and cheer and chant for our school. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that at all.
Police responded to the mob with pepper spray and tear gas, but students retaliated by throwing rocks, bottles, and even bricks.
Students are going to be stupid sometimes, and the cops should know and the administration should know that treating it like that, treating it as a riot, is going to turn it into a riot.
A total of 40 fires were started that night, including one in this dumpster here. Arson is now a felony in Morgantown and could carry up to 3 years in jail.
While many students think it's tradition, WVU faculty and community members say it's just the opposite.
It's like these students think that they're maintaining this party culture. It's like the party culture that this university was known for 15 to 20 years ago. I don't even think they would have done anything as kind of idiotic as what these students are engaging. I mean, it's a mob mentality.
President Clements says the university is taking immediate action to identify and discipline any student involved.
So far, 4 WVU students have been arrested, and police say they will be ready if rioting continues. Angelica and Lindsay, back to you.
Thanks, Stephanie. University officials aren't the only ones upset about the riots.
That's right. The city of Morgantown is taking action of their own. Mariah Lee joins us now in the studio to continue our team coverage on unlawful student behavior. Mariah?
Thanks, Lindsay and Angelica. Morgantown city officials say they are putting an end to chaotic celebrations before someone gets injured or even killed. City officials recently met to discuss short and long-term solutions to this destructive behavior. Soon after WVU's win against Texas, city officials gathered to discuss how they're going on the offensive against destructive behavior during post-game celebrations.
Anyone involved in any type of criminal act, which would be setting dumpster fires, street fires, throwing projectile at the first responders, drunkenness, we will not tolerate that anymore.
Mayor Jim Manila says that the city will also be looking at long-term solutions to the fires and celebratory riots that have been going on for years.
They sprayed a bunch of people like on the street, and then like a minute or two later, it's just like all hit us on the porch, and we all started like coughing, and like my eyes started watering really bad.
And even though it's calm right here in the heart of Sunnyside, it was a much different story after the WVU Texas football game. Thousands of fans took their celebrations to these streets, which resulted in 15 arrests. But some students say this is a difficult problem to tackle, especially since enrollment numbers at WVU continue to increase.
It's hard to stop, 20,000 people all celebrating at once. It's hard to arrest a group of people when you don't know who's responsible for actually starting the fire.
Currently, City Council is looking at short-term goals to help combat the rowdy behavior in the upcoming football games. Morgantown Mayor Jim Manella wants the university to impose a $20 student fee. This fee would be used to hire more police officers to patrol the city after games.
Taking part in riots while in college causes a lot of damage, but in order to get to college, you must first get through high school. Students who drop out of high school are twice as likely to become unemployed, and over 30% of dropouts are living in poverty in the U.S. alone. Fortunately, Monongalia County has one of the lowest dropout rates in the nation. West Virginia has an option program that allows students to earn their high school diplomas and learn a trade. With the program in place, it's helping dropouts turn their lives around by giving them skills they can use to earn a living for the rest of their lives.
With programs in place to help students stay in school, it's also important to get students to class on time.
That's right, Lindsay. WVU News reporter Sarah Cordonier has more on how the university is updating their transportation option known as the PRT.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
That's the sound of the personal rapid transit shutting down, a common experience for many WVU students.
I got stuck on the PRT for almost 45 minutes. It always breaks down. When the PRT is down, it is down.
The PRT was built in two phases in 1973 and 1975 as a demonstration project funded by the Federal Transit Administration. PRT Administrator Arlie Foreman explains that although the transit was state-of-the-art when it was constructed, it now faces problems due to outdated technology.
If you just think about it in terms of your modern PC, if you had a PC that was 37-year-old, how well would it work?
WVU's Board of Governors have approved a $15 million renovation to the system in an attempt to bring the PRT's daily average availability rate up to 99%.
The PRT can travel up to 30 miles per hour and can cover its distance in 11.5 minutes. WVU hopes that with renovations to the system, the PRT will be able to get riders to their destination even faster.
Some students admire the uniqueness of WVU's PRT and look forward to the upgrades.
When I first came to WVU when I was a sophomore in high school, when I was doing a tour, I said, oh, the PRT, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Trying to improve the PRT because we do need it, and we need it to work all the time. Maybe cool music. Maybe they can put like the U92 radio in there.
Improvements to the system should be completed by 2016. Sarah Cordonier, WVU News, Morgantown.
It's amazing that a transportation system has lasted that long.
And with the university revitalizing the PRT, I spoke with a Morgantown man who is cleaning up the Monongahela River. All of these efforts make it easy to see why Forbes magazine says Morgantown is one of the top 50 small cities to live in. The Monongahela River stretches through the middle of Morgantown, but its beauty is not always apparent. Tim Turman noticed all the trash in 1999 and has been trying to fix it ever since.
Fools and idiots and scoundrels, in my opinion, when they throw it out onto the roads and litter our rivers.
While waste is present in the river, Morgantown has been improving water quality since the 1972 Clean Water Act.
In all, we have really a very good raw water quality. It's very consistent.
The Mon is safe to swim in and eat fish out of, but remember, trash and other pollutants often end up in the water. Litter, like this plastic bottle cap, can be deadly to animals, but with over 90% of Morgantown's drinking water coming right out of the Mon River, making sure this gets in the trash can can benefit your health as well. The Morgantown Utility Board has to clean all the water before it is consumed.
We know how to handle the bacteria, and we do so effectively.
With water quality improving over the last few decades, over 60 species of fish have returned to the Mon. But Turman is still passionate about his mission to keep this water trash-free.
Gosh, it's not hard at all. It is not hard to avoid littering, but you would think it's the most difficult thing in the world.
On one of his last trips out until spring, Turman was happy to see little trash disturbing one of his favorite views. You can follow the river cleanup efforts and learn what you can do to help clean up the Mon River by visiting the website at the bottom of the screen.
It's incredible how one person's determination can make such a big difference for the environment.
And speaking about making a difference, coming up on WVU News, our sports reporter Eric Roberts tells us how one player is making a big difference for the Mountaineers.
I'm Eric Roberts, and coming up on WVU Sports, I'll tell you how a football player demonstrates talent and leadership.
Our hearts beat in the face of challenge, for without it, there is nothing. No character, no grit, no goals. Without challenge, there can be nothing. No discovery, no knowledge, no cures. For us, the challenge is everything. Without it, there can be no Mountaineers.
The WVU Mountaineers have been gaining national attention as an offensive powerhouse.
That's right, Angelica. Geno Smith has a lot of options when he needs a reliable receiver, and one of those just so happens to be a talented leader on the team as well.
Tavon Austin is one of the star receivers for the Mountaineers this season.
Yes, the elusive Tavon Austin is a vital piece of the team that the team needs for continued success. Jamie McCracken joins us in the studio and has more on this talented player. Jamie?
Thanks, Lindsay and Angelica. The football team is at home in the top 25 BCS rankings, and much of the help has to do with Geno Smith, Stedman Bailey, and of course, Tavon Austin. For over 4 years here at WVU, the Baltimore native has become a fan favorite, a star, and now nationally recognized. Sports reporter Eric Roberts has the story.
Looks like Randall cutting after that first half. Oh, wide open. Austin, what a move!
The 4-touchdown performance in the Orange Bowl was no fluke. Tavon Austin's ability to make plays and lead his teammates to victory week in and week out is what this senior is all about. Austin's play on the field has him getting Heisman attention, and WVU quarterback Geno Smith says Austin's leadership is also vital.
He means a lot. He's a leader. He's a leader on offense. He's a leader of this team. He's also a senior, and we look to him for big plays, and we expect him to step up.
Tavon Austin demonstrates the proper leadership you want to see in a football player. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he becomes one of the most dangerous players in the country, averaging 100 yards per game.
Tavon Austin is breaking one school record after another, although Austin has his mind on 2 other goals in the future.
I mean, you know, end of the day, the records aren't anything cool. I broke a lot of records in high school, so my ultimate goal was, you know, get to the NFL. That's my goal, get to the national championship.
Big 12 conference play is getting tougher, and Austin hopes his excellent play continues.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, hopefully a couple more Tavon Austin days and coming in the future.
Tavon Austin and the rest of the West Virginia football team hopes the success continues. Eric Roberts, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
Although the Mountaineers' winning streak ended with Texas Tech, Tavon Austin was still the leader in receiving yards during the game. Lindsay and Angelica, back to you.
Thanks, Jamie. It's amazing how one person's drive and dedication can add to a team's overall success.
That's right. You can see how passionate Tavon is for the game.
Well, that about wraps us up this week for this edition of WVU News. Come visit us online at our website at the bottom of your screen.
You can also watch all of our broadcasts on our YouTube channel and follow each and every reporter on Twitter for upcoming and breaking news. I'm Angelica Trenone.
And I'm Lindsay Cobb. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you here again on WVU News.